Hello everybody. Brian here, quantlabsnet.com. Haven't done a live stream in 2 weeks. I was hoping to get a professional setup for you with the screen and all that, like I have shown in the past. Just setting up a new workstation. Still in temporary flux on that department. Anyways, let's talk about our live, what's been going on over the last week or so. So I've been working on a new app, web app for interactive brokers with live connections into interactive brokers trader workstation. I have also been working was initially supposed to work with paper trading. Everything's been changed over the years with interactive brokers and market data, where market data at one point was free, then you pay. So now, thank you. Hello, Bosco, how are you? Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me okay. As I said, the market data is now completely changed. What I initially set up will not work with paper trading, so I have to use live market. And therefore, in order to get market data from interactive brokers, you need to have at least 500 US dollars. Also, before I go live, everything's going to be futures only. I do question the capabilities of options trading. Thank you, Bosco. Appreciate that. I'm on the audio. So when it comes to the market data, you have to have at least 500 US dollars to get free data from interactive brokers, which makes sense. I mean, market data is very expensive. All good. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, CNN, ASS. So that's what's been going on. So the new app is coming along, web app again. It's desktop and works really good. And I'm only working with two strategic bots, whatever you want to call them, the gold bot and the Ethereum BTC spread bot. I have simulation mode on this thing. It does amazing on the gold. Very little money to be earned on the Ethereum Bitcoin spread trading. Just the way it is. From what I'm seeing, when Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin, this bot will kill. Bitcoin, I should do more streams, more live often. I would. I do them once a week. I get burnt out otherwise if I do them all the time. So those are the two live strategies right now. And again, I'm only doing CME. So now I don't know if people are aware, but US dollar is now the safe haven. And about a month ago, when things were going crazy on the equity markets, I moved everything into US dollar. No trading, just sitting in US dollar. I was up about 20% earlier in the year before this war took place. I hung on too long with the current investments I had, which was Walmart and Philip Morrison. And it went down about 5%. So then I sold everything and moved everything into US dollar, and we're up 14% for the year to date, and we're up 7% for the last month. That's pretty good. So the US dollar is looking good. So I will want to look at a US dollar strategy. As I said earlier, I'm on CME for DXY. It's only available for ICE, Intercontinental Exchange, for DXY. And plus, everything I'm doing right now is on micro because I'm trying to minimize any potential losses I take on before I go live trading. Okay, so that's where that is at. And this dashboard blows my mind that I've got. I will hope to do a live stream on that come Thursday. Okay, so there's that. All right, so everything's cool. If you guys got questions or whatever, I do always challenge the haters and the trolls to come on this as well. They never do. They just sit around and critique and say nothing. So maybe one day somebody may show up. But that's okay. So if you guys got questions or comments, let me know, as usual. And as I said, this Thursday night, I hope to showcase the live trading, hopefully for once. And in the meantime, that will be the two working strategies that I found that work. I just don't think I can. Actually, I can't trade stablecoin at all because I have a stablecoin peg strategy. It works great, but it trades on pennies. Okay, our first question. Thomas says, Thomas Anderson, welcome. I don't know much English, but like to know what you think about funding accounts. Funding accounts with who? What asset classes? So we need to know there. Sorry, English, I don't do any of the translation on the live streams. I have to be more specific. I will say to do somewhat live trading with what I've got working, Interactive Brokers, I would say you need at least 500 US dollars. If you're going to start with futures and options, for futures only, you can start with probably $1,500, $2,000 if you're willing to only go with micro accounts and then scale up from that as you profit and find more profitable strategies. That's the best I can tell you. In terms of crypto retail, I personally think that crypto retail spot market trading, I don't know. I'm just seeing lower and lower volumes in that. If you don't know, I've opened up my forum at quantlabsnet.com. So you can go in there and browse the one group I have. If you go under more group, you'll find the one forum in there, that one group, which is public. I've been posting on that like a fiend lately. And one of the things I'm posting in there is today, I put in the volume comparison between Bitcoin, Ethereum, ES, which is S&P 500, and another one. And I can tell you, if you look at the comparison, ES, S&P 500 is by a long shot the most highest volume of market data. And then, Bitcoin's okay, Ethereum's a little lower. And also there's gold in there as well. So gold's about double of what Bitcoin is. So that matters. And I say that because I've been doing this for a couple of months now when it comes to live trading and watching the strategies. The gold strategy I've got works really well when gold moves up. Gold is volatile, but gold does move up when the market shows signs of weakness. So when that happens, the gold strategy will trade it in those moments. And when I checked today, it had 5 trades. Every single one of them did not take one loss. So there was that. As I said, with Ethereum will outperform the Bitcoin for whatever reason by a long shot, and the win ratios are pretty good. So that's what I can say now. And as I said, I'm based upon the performance I'm getting with the US dollar, I'm hoping to get a really nice strategy with the dollar as well, because that is a potential there. As if the attacks in the Mideast continue, which probably could start as early as this weekend, everything's going to go bonkers again. And the ones that will move up are going to be gold, crypto I can't say, and probably dollar as a safe haven as well. So Boran, what math concepts do you usually use on a regular basis? Just to answer that, as I said, if you go into my group under the public forum, I just posted that yesterday. I'm using everything 100% AI, so it's pretty transparent. In there, I did a complete scan of all of the bots that were running and generated from yesterday, and it shows in there quite clearly all the formulas and all the math indicators in there. And there's a post on that where you just download the PDF. It's about 100 pages. So if you want to learn the formulas on what's used, you can go in there and browse that. It's pretty open. But usually right now, if I'm using Codex for the code generation, there's usually, what is there? There's EMA, RSI, sometimes Bollinger, Z-score for the volatility, and ATR for the volatility. That's all it's using. Pretty simple. Now, if I use a different LLM or model to generate these trading bots, it's a totally different bottle, a different kettle of fish. You could use a different set of models, or sorry, algorithms and indicators. But that's what I'm seeing because I like Codex 5.3. That's what I'm using to generate these bots. Where's the source again, and how do you build such mechanism with all these AIs? I've gone over that many times, many times. As I said, if you go to my website, quantlabsnet.com, if somebody wants to throw in the URL there, go under more, and then go under groups, and then you'll find the group to join, which is public now, and you'll see all the PDFs available there with all of the documents I just mentioned, all the bots that were generated and all the trading logic, all of that's in there in that one PDF. I posted a pile of PDFs today and yesterday on all of this. So that should answer that. Do you have a math degree? I'm considering switching from CS to math for my bachelor's. I don't have either. I have a business. I don't have a master's, but I have a, back in the day, early 90s, we didn't have to really do a master's. I just have what we would call a BCom, Bachelor of Commerce. So that's all I got. With AI, I don't think, it depends on where you're at in life. If you're trying to get a career, that's one thing. Your degree will matter. If you're trying to get into the quant career and all the high frequency trading shops, all that, your degrees will matter. More elite Ivy League level schools, no argument on that. So that will matter. Also, AI can help do all the heavy lifting for you on the math side and the coding side as well. You just got to know what to look for and how to do it. But again, I've gone through that many videos. That's all I can say. Just go through my YouTube channel or go through my forum or my blog. That's all I can really tell you. Next question from Thomas Anderson. One question, do the bots run on a VPS? I was kind of thinking about that. They're running locally on my, basically a laptop, just a basic commodity laptop. Now I've thought about moving it into a virtual private server. Here's the thing. There's a couple of, it depends upon what you're doing. I may and try out VPS, like a VPS, virtual private server, namely with, as I said, Vultr, VULTR, and try it out. They're probably one of the only Windows Server deployment options out there. I've not seen a lot of Windows servers out there that you can run on through a cloud outside the big three. And you know, I've checked things virtual. I can't remember what Windows server is. Everything I'm doing right now is either in PowerShell or obviously on Windows. I could move it into Linux, but once you move it into Linux, there's some big disadvantages with that. The big one, because now I'm going to be at some point running two systems now with all these bots and stuff. The first one I'm working with is Interactive Brokers. So I'm going to showcase that app, web app, hopefully Thursday night if it gets working. I'm pretty close to finishing that, hopefully tonight. Also, I've got the Rhythmic as well. So I've shown that already on my long form videos on this channel. So those are the two exchanges. And I will tell you, they take up a lot of data and a lot of computer utilization or compute. So that's futures only. But if I decided to move into options on futures, that's a totally different level. So I'm at a point now where I'm like trying to figure out, do I go with a GPU or maybe with Google and what they're releasing now, the TPSs, the TensorFlow, TensorFlow PU, Tensor PU, sorry, and see how those PCs work. Because for the options, it's a lot of utilization, a lot. I've tested it, it's a lot, and you do need some form of GPU to really take advantage of it. and only on the live trading bots that you're going to run. So that's going to work with the Rhythmic. So the VPS can be run. Sorry, you can run all this on a VPS, but it's very expensive because of the compute cost. So if I'm going to use the GPUs that's available, there's a problem there on the cost. Plus the bandwidth as well in terms of all the downloading. So I may be forced to stay on a desktop and a good desktop system. Hopefully I'll answer your question on VPS. It's too early to tell. Basic stuff, you could do a VPS, but I'm a lot more advanced now with, as I said, with what I've seen with the option chain data analysis and Greek analysis. That's a lot of compute there. Anyways, next question. Bosco, how did you get interested in algo trading based stuff? Well, it was simple, and I've said this before. Oh wait, thanks for the like. In 2008, we have a local bookstore, kind of like a Barnes and Nobles. I saw this book called Algorithmic Trading as a business. That was Dr. Erding Chan's book that I saw. So I got into that because of that book. From there, I found out that Dr. Erding Chan was a kind of local. I'm Toronto, he's in Niagara Falls on the lake, which is 2 hours away. So I started reaching out to him. I started meeting him in the early days of my development back in 08, 09 timeframe. No, I should say 2010, sorry, timeframe. So I started meeting him personally. And he was very graceful for me when he started. That was his first book. The second and third book, he mentioned and thanked me in his preface on the first editions because we talked a lot about technology. So he picked a lot of stuff off me. I kind of email him once in a while, but generally I find he's totally in a different ballgame. But that's the history of how I got into it. It was because of that book. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat. So hopefully I'll answer that question. So if you guys got further comments or questions as well. Yeah, so as I said earlier, I'm going to be leveraging this group that I just relaunched, we'll call it. We've got, just so people know, on my website, quantlabsnet.com, I've got nearly pushing 1,000 people that are website members on my website. They're not paying customers. I have a few, but majority are just website members. So a lot of them have been moved into this new forum. So I have pushing 1,000 people on this. So I'm now trying to get more and more people onto the forum, and the search capabilities on this group forum is very good. So if people had questions about what I do, will be available there. And I want to put together a chat thing that if you have questions, that's very good to ask questions with the chat on my website and be able to get a lot of history from a lot of the content I've done over the last pretty well 2 years with this new, I call it new domain, but 2 years is that domain, quantlabsnet.com. So there's a lot of stuff there. Plus, people will ask about where to start, and that's where I kind of try to push people onto hftcode.com as well. So if you got any further questions, let me know. Yes, sir. Here we are. I could blab more and more. I think our last session 2 weeks ago was only 45 minutes. A lot of people asked me to change the stream time as well. I've been doing this time for a while now. It seems to work for everybody, but more Europeans and people from Africa are pretty well in the same similar time frame. So do I focus on them, or do I stay on the local North American time frames, specifically New York time frame? So hopefully you'll be able to maintain all this interest. Plus, I can go private with Zoom via my group forum. I tried it a week ago. Within the last week, nobody showed. So I have to stay on YouTube because that's where the audience is. So waiting for questions and comments coming in. Usually it takes about half an hour for the algo to kick in, but that's okay. We'll see if the YouTube algo pushes out my this stream to people. So in the meantime, this interactive brokers, a couple of things will happen there. Hopefully when I go live, what I'm hoping to do is to have, if everything works out trading-wise, trading performance-wise, I will definitely link up a trading journal system for third-party verification with Rhythmic. I can only update data. I think that's useless. What I want to showcase is real-time trading with, one of the few that does that is interactive brokers. So another question from Matthew Chesser. Do I trade full-time? Yes, I do. As I said earlier, I'm up 14% for the year with interactive brokers. I do have a professional portfolio pair of managers to manage my big portfolio. I know that sounds bizarre, but I'm becoming more risky with a tinier account. So that's what I'm ready to go with. Hopefully, I keep saying next week. I don't want to say that anymore. But yeah, I do all this full time. So that should answer that. Let's see here. Yeah, so the reason I do the portfolio, like I said, why would I not have my bigger portfolio managed by myself? That's a full-time gig. I've talked to people about it in the same way. Those bigger portfolios can be very gut-wrenching and it's a big distraction. I talked to somebody about it last week, but I just want to focus on the futures and options. Okay, Matthew comes back. I'm currently in the process of building out my LLM to auto trade. Yeah, that's good. I don't know what LLM you use. I've been testing lately, and if you look at those posts that I mentioned on my forum, my group forum, I did. Okay, so you're doing DeepSeek. I hate saying it, but you pay for what you get. I did ask not DeepSeek, but Quant 3.6 for this quant stuff, and you can see the difference. It's very basic, elementary report, right? So today I did one with GPT 5.5 just as an experiment. Much better. Same prompt, but different LM. Big night and day difference. So I'm saying you get what you pay for. So you're trying to keep it local. What size is your LM? I keep it all through the cloud, my man. I don't use local LLMs. I've tried it before. It just overheats computers, and the quality is just nowhere as good as through the cloud, like an open router, similar setup. I'm using Claude Code extension for VS Code, for Visual Code. That's for all the coding. I'm also using the Claude desktop a little bit. But I also use not just Claude, but I also use some of the bigger, more popular models. But there is a huge difference in the quality output between the Chinese and the US models. Huge difference. Are you getting a big bill for tokens? Yeah, no, I have a flat rate account. I'm paying about close to $300 a month. I exceed it every month. Everything I do is 100% AI. And just so people know, if you go through that post I put out on my forum, funny enough is that the AI criticizes the way I'm doing my whole workflow that I've been working on for the last month or so. It criticizes it. So it's not perfect, but I can use the AI to critique it, and then I can use another AI to improve it. That's what I did. So that's the benefit there of AI. So yeah, AI may not be 100%, but you can feed back the responses of the criticisms and then be able to improve your whatever you're working on via the output when when you have another AI critique it, or the weaknesses or the gaps of what you're doing, and including the strategy bots that get developed as well. Matthew, are you training your LM like feeding in information, stock trade from and chart recognition like RAG? No. What I'm doing is I simulate on the fly, so it'll create. I can do a basic workflow. So what I do a news download among 30 sources of news. It will generate and summarize a pretty big PDF, about 25 pages for futures and options. And then it will generate trading bots from that summarized PDF of news. So as I said, I can get 10 to 12 trading bots there every day, newly generated. And then what I do is I'll take those bots and then run them against live market data through Rhythmic. And then I can determine what has potential for profit. So there's no back testing here. So I can test it to see what is profitable. And then I have 3 buckets. So anything that shows potential will be put into what I call a profit bucket. And then there's going to be about 15 in there that get rotated when things show potential. And then I run that all the time, those profitable bots, potential profitable bots. And then what happens is if they show any form of profit, I'll move it into the live trading bucket. And I have 2 so far, as I mentioned earlier, and what they are. So those will always trade no matter what the trading condition or market conditions are, no matter what the market regimes, they always trade, and usually they trade in profit. And again, there's no back testing involved. I've said this before, I think people need to get out of that old school mindset of working with back tested data, because when you have volatile markets that you have now, it's a worthless process because the markets change so fast and so unpredictable. I was just watching another video about how they want to go 24/7. This is in the stock market now. And you won't be able to trade with back testing that. It's just, there's going to be so many market regime changes so quick in a couple hours. And there's going to be no general trend in the market. I can tell you there's no general trend in gold. And all that easy money is gone. So, or opportunities are pretty well gone. So what I'm suggesting is people go through that process I went through. Matthew says, I agree with you about the back testing. I think it's good for it to recognize trading patterns off live news with futures. You do one-on-one lessons. Sort of. I have, if you go into my, I don't know what your coding skills are like, but I do have in the bottom, hftcode.com, the basic interactive brokers structure, you call it, with live trading bots in there that work against TWS. So you can start from there and work from there and grow it. So that's what I have. I also have a memberships at quantlabsnet.com. I have a huge code base as well. One-on-one, not so much. Yeah, that's all I can tell you, Matthew. But I would get onto the email list if you go to that website, quantlabsnet.com, and just join there, and grow from there. And as I said, I've got the new, relaunched forum as well, so you can go through all my stuff through that and see how things have played out over the last few weeks, months. Awesome, man. Thank you. No problem. Yeah, that's where I'd go. I will say for other people that may watch this, because I've been saying this for a while, the third-party verification process that I'm really wanting to get, and the only real one that's valid is with interactive brokers for the real-time monitoring for third-party. So if I get to a point where I'm generating alpha versus, let's say, the S&P 500, and it's verified and it's third party and in real time, I see no reason why I shouldn't have to blow up my fees, because I'll be one of the only people doing it. Very few people, I don't even know actually people that do it live on YouTube or anywhere else online with a third-party verified account where it's easily accessible on a third-party server, whatever software journaling system or service I go with. That's my goal. So as for, if you got questions or comments, let me know. Anybody can chime in. I'm just blabbing until we get some more. Oh, more. Okay, cool, Matthew. I appreciate you keeping it going. I use Interactive as well. Using the live bots through TradingView Interactive API. No, I was on the TradingView API, or there's, I don't know, is that new? A TradingView API? I don't know that there's a rumor that might be an official MCP server for it. I'd be very interested in that. I'm still a member of TradingView, but I never really use it, to be honest. With the Interactive Brokers TWS API I'm using for Python with the front end in JavaScript. And it's fully, right now I'm using Haiku 4.5 for the AI stuff and when I have to debug. Like today, I had to go all crazy with Opus 4.6. And it gets all the bugs killed off quickly. Hopefully Thursday night, or I'll probably do a long form video on this as well. So those are the APIs I'm using right now, and I'm also using the Rhythmic API as well. From what I'm talking to people, the Rhythmic API is way more professional than the Interactive Brokers could be on its best day. And in fact, I'm happy to brag about this. The Opus finally put a kill switch into this Interactive Brokers TWS, or this Interactive Brokers web app. So I have a kill switch in it, and I'll probably mimic all the new features of that back into my original 2-week-old Rhythmic dashboard. So it'll be interesting what I can develop for the Rhythmic side as well. What's I going to say? I was going to say something about Interactive Brokers TWS. So, more questions, man. Man, I have so many questions. You ever do live calls where we can ask questions? Yeah, live. Well, I'm not really built for that. Like calling in and 1-800 number to talk. I mean, I could do. I've tried. As I said, I've tried the Zoom last week. Nobody showed up. Obviously, I can do it through that if I get enough people to come out on these sessions. Right now, that's only why I'm on YouTube. And my setup that I want to get can be live streamed on Facebook, Twitter, or X. I think TikTok maybe as well. I don't know. I'll even pay. Well, hey man, join the email list. Get yourself on the forum. Part of the problem with everybody I have, they're just quiet. I don't know if they're tire kickers or I don't know what the deal is. The more people I have engaged in my forum, the better I know what people want. That's why I do the surveys on YouTube on my community post section, because people are very quiet. And what I want to move off of YouTube, really, I move it all into this community. As I said, I got 1,000 people, but I don't know what's going on there, why they're all quiet. I've got like 15,000 people on my Facebook group, 12,000 on LinkedIn. No, I mean, the only thing that's on there is just spam. That's all it is. So that's the issue I'm coming across. I've talked to a lot of people that run groups and they're having the same problem. So unless I had a situation where I had like a front end where people just push buttons and they get money, that's the only way people will engage. Because I mean, it's amazing what people expect. I won't get into that. But anyways, that's where I'm at. Matthew says, yeah, I have a 512 gig. Wow, that's quite a bit. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking terabytes. Gig, that's pretty big though. I'm deep in the setup process of building everything. Yeah, it's good. Mac OS is fine, but when you move into, I think Interactive Brokers, you're fine. If you ever wanted to go with Rhythmic, be aware that their software is so old and everything they have with the Rhythmic Pro, Windows only. So that's why I stay on Windows. Now, if you do decide to go with the API with Rhythmic for the Python API, they say they will support you on Linux. So there's that as an option. But you're dealing with wonderful protobuf. So that can get kind of scary. But if you want to get on my email list, email me and we can figure out whatever you need, Matthew. I'm sure I can help you out as well. Because it sounds like you're very serious. That's another thing too. I get lots of people that say they're serious, but very little follow through. I don't know. Anyways, there's that. But if you've got any comments or questions further, let me know. I take all this stuff seriously, as you can tell. Yeah, I will, and I'll email you. Thanks. Really appreciate it. No problem. I'd give out the email here, but I can assure you that the spam bots will pick that up and just spam me till the cows come home. And I did that accidentally. I had a contact form on the hftcode.com site, which is Shopify. I've never been so spammed in my life. I can help you do blah, 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 blah. It's like, forget it. Yeah, by all means, reach out and email me. Anybody new here or anybody, questions, comments, let me know. That's what we're here for. That's why I do these tonight. Ask me anything. They're always ask me anything. I'll have a little thing to go on about. But as I said, Thursday night I'll be showcasing the Interactive Brokers webfront thing. I was impressed, but it still has its limitations because of how the TWS works. It's so limited on what you can do with it in terms of streaming data. Like this thing can stream data, but it's not. The TWS just conks out here and there. They aggregate data, so I have to keep it at 1 minute refresh rate. Same with the Rhythmic as well. Rhythmic is a little better, but it's a pain. Unless you go with Rhythmic, you go with that pricey Diamond API, which is really built for the Aurora data center when you want to decide to go full on high frequency trading and you have a big account, like $500,000 account. Until then, just keep it simple. It's all I can tell you. The overkill is crazy. If you guys got questions or comments, let me know. As I said with the assets, I'm getting pretty confident with what I'm saying now in this current market condition. As I said, gold is doing amazing. My little gold strategy is amazing. As I said, the second one that's doing, but it's profitable, very profitable. It's the probability of it, win ratio is very good in terms of profit, but it's coffee money. But the gold is probably the big one. And that does well. So I will be going hard and heavy on both Rhythmic and Interactive Brokers with that one. And that's where my focus will be until I see something else that's good. As I said, I think hopefully the dollar, DXY, is an opportunity as well. I do have another strategy that looks really good. It's a stable coin, PEG. Arbitrage strategy that again has very high win ratio, but it doesn't pay a lot out. Like it's pennies. And it's an arbitrage on between USDC and Tether. So very good strategy, but again, just doesn't cut it. Just so people know, I have 2 recent surveys I put out on my post section. In the community posts, one on what you're interested in terms of technology, and a sample set of what you think the best instruments to trade on based upon Sharp and max drawdown as well. And you'll find that survey there helps me out knowing what people want in terms of instruments. GDI, how are you, my man? I haven't seen you in a few weeks. If you got questions, let me know. Would appreciate if you got questions or comments. For you, I don't know if you just joined, but I will. Very excited to showcase this new Interactive Brokers TWS Webfront API, Webfront dashboard. It's really good. And again, that's done in Python backend and the front end's JavaScript. I have been very challenged with that. I will kid you not with the TWS. It has been challenging to develop a robust connection with TWS. It's difficult to find a stable connection. I mean, I've got it as best as I can. I've spent quite a bit already on this app, but there's a tab in there that says live monitoring. If I let it run for a minute, you'll see how unstable the connections are with these 2 trading bots it trades on. Nice. This is on your website. Not yet. I'm gonna do a video on it. Hopefully, a part of the forum as well, the group forum. That's where I post a lot of new stuff, all the PDFs, all the latest. Again, for anybody joining, that is quantlabsnet.com, and then you'll see a little option at the right for more, and choose groups. And then there you can view all you want on that forum. And I've been posting quite a few PDFs. You do not need to register to download the PDFs at all. I might put some coding samples in there. I remember what I was going to say. All the trading bots, one of those PDFs that show you the trading logic on yesterday's set of trading bots with the indicators, the logic for triggering orders, it's all there in 100 pages of detail. AI generated, of course. But what I want you to be aware of, don't stop to think that that is going to give you profit at all. From what I'm seeing, when you run a variety of strategies, bots, strategies, to get it profitable consistently, you're probably going to go through a couple hundred before you get one that's consistently profitable. I've gone through probably 300, and I've only found 2 that's profitable. Okay, JDI says, I've seen that IB now provide access to Korean stocks. I think they provide access to anything. Everything's driven by volume. I mean, again, one of my posts I put up was the comparative volume of gold, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ES. ES is like easily the highest volume. And in order to trade profitably, consistently, in a successful way, you have to be on those big instruments that give you that volume. Agriculture, treasury, not going to cut it as of now. Not that I've seen. Gold, yes. Bitcoin, Ethereum, getting there. Definitely the equity indices, S&P 500, NASDAQ, maybe the Russell, has lots of volume there when the profit opportunity hopefully comes. And oil and all the derivative product for oil as well because of this Iran thing. So that's what's needed to get consistent profit. And the gold easily, very nice. And as I said, the other 2 that might be potential is Euro. When it performs, it looks good. And the other big one is the dollar, DXY. That's for the futures and options. Now, I could expand into equity like single stock. I just don't see the point. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to tie up money on things that give lackluster profit, if that. Matthew says, I emailed you. Hopefully that was the correct email. Did the sales email. Best thing to do is go on the website, go at the homepage, quantlabsnet.com. You'll see a form you can fill that out, and give all your details. I don't release people's information, so I can assure you that. Once I know that, you can get a free ebook, by the way. And then you can do that, and then you will be in my database. So I have all your contact that way. Or what's the other one? Learn. There's a tab called Learn. Either one will for sure 100% give me your email info. And then there, I think one of the options is in there where you can put a message and just tell me you're from the YouTube stream. And you're probably your user ID as well for YouTube. That'll help me out. And I can reach out to you one-on-one and start something like a conversation. I've done that before. It works pretty good. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, things are moving ahead very quickly. If you guys got questions, comments, let me know. But that's why I'm doing these streams. So the big one that I've not mentioned yet is part of the Interactive Brokers web front or dashboard in the new one I'm going to showcase. You will see connectivity into Interactive Brokers. We'll have to test everything, including market data, expiry info, all of that is in there. I have to test that all the time. And there's another set of options in there where I can do live orders now. So I am just one step away from going out and going live. Once I test those two to do the sell and the buy and sell live on Interactive Brokers, we're now one step away from going live. The only other thing I need to do is then go back in the AI and update the trading bots, as I said, the gold and the Ethereum Bitcoin spread trading bots, and get them to trade live with Interactive Brokers. And then guess what? We are trading live, and hopefully we'll have some good news to report. And then all of the so-called commenters on YouTube can, it's been bad. I get a lot of positive from a lot of you folks on social media, YouTube, wherever. It's been good. But there's the odd one that just tries to get under my skin. It don't work. But if they say I'm a so-called fraud, they don't know me because they just watch one video and think, oh, I got 15 years of videos on YouTube. You guys got comments and questions, let me know. I'm here for you. One other thing I will say on YouTube, I'm part of, well, let me just say this. Let's see if I can find what I could show you. Oh, right here. Here we are. So this is official. It's the only official product I ever got from YouTube. And I'm waiting for my plastic dinner set for my 15,000 subscribers. But I got that because I'm part of the official thing that I'm part of at YouTube. So one of the recommendations was to start a second channel. So I'm going to have this channel still. That's more for programming and automation. And I'm going to start a second channel. It's already kind of active, but I want to focus that on the strategies and strategy development, because you have to be very narrow focused on your niche in order for channels to grow. So that's what I'm going to do with a second channel as well. There's that set as well. GDI asks, do you plan to start trading stocks as well? This whole experience of trading, I could do buy and sell, which I have done, but as I said, I've got a professional managed portfolio for that. Meaning I've got portfolio managers doing all that for me. I got a big wad of stuff, so I have no need to do that. I've done it before with my current setup, works beautifully, but what I've learned from trading stocks, individual stocks or just ETF, unless you're willing to buy and hold, all of this active stuff really is not wise, especially now when the markets aren't performing as well as they could. As a result, what that means is I'd rather just put my efforts into futures and options. And that's what I've done. That's what I focused on. And it's much more profitable. And another example I've mentioned for you, JDI, is I've switched everything over 6 weeks ago. How long has this war been going on? After thereabouts, I moved everything in the US dollar. And as a result, I'm up 7% for the month. No trading stocks and ETFs at all. And being in the in the US dollar has done pretty good for me, and up 14%. So you can invest as easy as that, knowing if the US dollar performs as a new safe haven, and which it probably will if everything else goes bad. So hopefully I'll answer that question for you. If you ever want help, I'm down. Matthew, my man, please do. That's part of what I do with this forum. Let me know. We'll engage. I'm sure we can do something there for sure. So I'll make sure I get your email as well. Quick question from a new person, 11797. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Quick question. I'm an undergrad, math and physics. What applies to quant research the most in physics space? Again, I've got a hftcode.com project on that you can get there, hftcode.com. It's specifically for career. When I built that, the best thing I can tell you for all your questions on math, physics, each HFT firm and hedge fund have their own unique skill sets they want from fresh students coming out with an Ivy League PhD. So for instance, Renaissance Technologies only wants physics, whereas more of the traditional, like, I don't know, Citadel may want the math folks. Jane Street, same thing. So depending upon the firms, each firm will have a specific criteria on what they look for in the candidates, and they do that obviously via the interviewing. You cannot memorize canned interview questions. You have to know how to role play with all the different scenarios that they're going to throw at you right throughout the whole recruiting process. If you don't know how to do that, then you're not going to get into these positions. Whereas a lot of these so-called quant counselors or whatever, they don't work. You have to know how to get around this by role playing. The only way to get around that is with AI, and AI is very sophisticated on that. That's why I built the thing. I'm not saying what I've got is perfect, but that's the best form to work from because it gives you some sample prompts to work for on role playing for interviews. Hopefully I'll help you out there. Wow. Okay. I don't know what part that said. JDI comes back with, I'm currently developing a momentum trading bot for single stocks. If you know a stock is doing well, outside of options trading for it, if you're trying to get extra boosted performance, yeah, you can do well with it. That's the whole point of options, to boost the performance and just get extra juice out of the lemon, so to speak. Options is very good for that, but if you get that wrong, then you are going to mess up and lose quite a bit. So the easy money part is the hard part. And as I said before, I just find the buy and hold has always worked well. And as I said, for the last 6 weeks, doing buy and hold on US dollar has done very, very well, as opposed to trying to beat it with futures and options. But I can say something about gold as well from what I'm seeing. JDI, I noticed that some trading strategies perform very differently depending upon the markets it's deployed on. Yeah, asset classes matter. And I will tell you this as well. What I'm seeing going through this whole process of simulating across the board of all the different, call it asset classes, just in the futures market, every single instrument has its own dynamic behavior. So for instance, gold, if you get the right strategy, can do really well and outperform gold itself, as opposed to just buying gold itself and just letting it ride on the price. If you've got a consistently profitable strategy, automated strategy, you can do very well. That's what I think I have with this one strategy. I can also say the same thing about Bitcoin and Ethereum. The problem is the volatility. And if you have volatility, like the crazy volatility we've seen, it's going to be very hard to predict and build momentum-based strategies around that. Right now, out of all the things I've seen across the board, we're talking treasury, agriculture, currency, commodities, including market indices and crypto. Very rarely will it generate a bot for market indices, meaning stocks and ETFs in the equity space. Tells me the opportunities are not there, okay? So that's why it focuses on what it focuses. I've designed it that way. And most of the opportunity I'm finding consistently across the board for everyday type of trading, profitable consistently, gold, sometimes Ethereum, sometimes Bitcoin, and what appears to be over the last month is the US dollar right now. I would say, oil can do well, or any of the derivative products from oil. I'm seeing a lot of inconsistency there, but the only two big ones that have been consistent for the 6 weeks is gold and Ethereum, Bitcoin in combined situations. And you'll notice I've not said anything about silver. Silver, no. Palladium, platinum, all that, no. I'm not trading things like uranium. I could trade copper, but I'm seeing volatility there. Same with aluminum. But people saying get into uranium. I have to be on a non-CME exchange there to pick that up. And I do give it opportunities to trade all the other ones, the agriculture and the lumber and blah, 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 blah. It ain't picking them up. Why? Because the volume's not there. That's the problem. Matthew says, what trading strategy you have for the trading bots? Are they placing the order you have, placing trading orders off? As I said, majority of what I'm seeing every day that's trading every day as opportunities is gold, somewhat Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yesterday there was lots of opportunity with XRP and Solana. Not today. So again, if you want consistent trading opportunity, it's gold. It's obvious, right? And Ethereum and Bitcoin, if you have some kind of trade in there, and I think the other one that's solid is DXY, US dollar. 11797 asks, in Quant, do you relate and apply different ideas from physics or academic area to research, or does the work become routine, tweaking the same thing over and over again in quant research? No, and I'll tell you why. Back in January, I was trying to go, I'll be Mr. Smart and trade classic high-frequency trading strategies, i.e. market making, C++, low latency, all that. And unless you have a large trading account, and I keep saying 6-digit, namely $500,000 at least, these type of strategies are really not going to do anything for you. Because as I keep comparing, it's like trying to kill a mosquito with a sledgehammer. So you're kind of like overdoing it. Whereas if you just focus at the beginning on simple, high volume commodities, as the ones I mentioned, or Bitcoin or Ethereum, and most of the indicators I said earlier are not quant. They're ATR, Z-score, SMA, classic, kind of forward-looking strategies. Now, if you want to get more sophisticated, and again, you have to have a higher an account size, like 25,000, maybe 50,000 US, then yeah, you can add in your options and do all the Greek analysis, what the market make. You can do that. But right now, as I start out, I'm keeping it simple to prove to myself that this whole thing works in the micro space. And you have a very small subset of assets in the micros. Gold, as I said, the ones I'm looking at right now is gold, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. That's it. So I'm keeping it simple because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And also same with the quantity kind of stuff you're asking about. Matthew comes back, are your bots placing your orders? Also, the strategies are the bots using fib levels. Curious on how you have the setup. From my experience so far, these bots are about to do live trading orders. The strategies I've already mentioned on the assets it's focused on, there is no Fibonacci at all. I've tried Fibonacci. Again, it's overkill. Fibonacci is just targeting. Price. You have a price, and you target when it hits a certain level of, what is it, 365 or whatever it is. And you're highly dependent upon volume to push it through those Fibonacci levels. So from my experience, those aren't the best. You want to focus on forward-looking data, not current or past. And that's why I focus on futures, but better yet, with options, you have the open interest and you also have the implied volatility, which is very important to help you gauge what's worth trading. On top of that, part of my AI that I'm using is I'm always focused on the portfolio metrics like Sharp, Sortino, max drawdown, blah, 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 all that stuff, because that's important too for your risk reward analysis. So that's what I focus on the last little bit. If you watch a lot of my past long form videos, you'll see that. But I'm only focused on forward-looking data. The back testing doesn't really matter anymore. So 11797 comes back. Why do firms like Rentec remain very private? Well, if they put out their strategies and their models out to the public domain, or let alone any of their competition pick up on it, those trading opportunities are gone. That's why they're private and very secretive, and they have very locked down NDAs to prevent that from getting out. And as a result, that's why it's private and locked down, really, for proprietary trade secrets. Again, why do you transition into quant from physics? Do you want to keep exploring the universe more? Good question. When you say universe, I've pretty well explored as much as I can with where I'm at in terms of a trading account, because that's what really drives this definition of what you call a universe, financial universe. So again, I'm only focused on futures and futures market. Right now, I'm only focused on the CME, but I am wanting to move into now the DXY, which is on the ICE. Also, the same with Brent crude as well, and some other commodities I'm interested in. That's what limits me within that selection of what I watch. Now, based upon my analysis, the only ones I'm really going to be down the road focused on is gold, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and maybe if my account grows, DXY, dollar, and the euro. That's what I'm seeing so far. Because if we do go into an economic huge downturn, usually those are going to be the most logical commodities or assets that will trade with fewer impact from economic or stock market news. So hopefully I'll answer that in a roundabout way. If you guys got questions or comments, let me know. As I said up before, if you're missed part of this, always watch the full-on earlier portions of these videos on my YouTube channel to catch up. So there's that. And also, as I said, if you're new and watching, go to quantlabsnet.com and get into the forum as well, because you'll be able to see what I've been working on, and you'll see all the PDFs that I'm posting. You can download without registering, no limitations, and see what I'm working on. And I'm very transparent from yesterday's post, very transparent on what's being worked on and the trigger points and the rules for those bots created by AI again. 1177 asks, do you think physicians from your experience go into quant because Betty work is genuinely interesting, and are they curious about random processes or moreover the money? From a career standpoint, it's definitely about career. That's it. That's it. I mean, top dollar in this day and age, doing that kind of work, you might get $500,000. If you want to get into the multi-million-dollar packages for career, as I said before, and eventually I think all firms will move towards this, where they will be focused on AI portfolio managers. Portfolio managers that know about trading for first top tier knowledge, because the coding, the math skills. I don't know if you guys just saw what came out of Ken Griffin's answer last week. It went super viral. Basically, he runs and he founded Citadel. This is what he said. He said that generally people with these high skills of PhD, math, blah, 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 is not needed anymore, because he's able to build out AI to do the same thing. And then the question becomes, why would you go out, rack up all this debt for a job that may not be there, or a career path that may not be there? Okay, this is what people need to understand. This is coming from Ken Griffin, okay? Probably the outside of Ray Dalio. In terms of hedge fund, this is what he says. And I can also confirm what he says is true, that AI is so sophisticated, especially with things coming out of Claude and pretty close. Some of the Chinese models are very close at it as well. Plus, OpenAI, what they're pumping out, is so advanced for going right down to FPGA coding with Quant. I could do that with AI. No problem. No question. I just got to be willing to spend the money. And I don't have to be a PhD or an ultimate code. I have not hand coded in months. I just asked the AI to generate this for me, and then it does it. And when I run into a problem with it, with an exception or some kind of weird thing I see in a log, I just give it the snippet and I say, fix it. And it goes out and fixes it for me. And that's why I do everything in VS Code with the Claude Code extension. And I can push it out as deep as I want. People need to understand this, and people that sit there and say AI doesn't work, blah 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 blah. That's fine, but as I keep saying, it's like we're on the we are past the Model T days. With the Model T, the Ford Model T revolutionized how things were transported from place to place, from town to town within towns. It revolutionized it. But there were still those Luddites, the horse and buggy people that I keep calling them, keep fighting it. Look, with the Luddites, they're going to eventually get out displaced. Why? Because it's not somebody like me or somebody who's a competitor or somebody who's out there we don't know about doing the same thing what a PhD in these firms are doing. I just don't see how and why these PhDs and all these quants are going to be out there doing all this stuff, paying what they pay, when pretty well AI can do it. And you can now do everything with agents. I could run this 24/7 if I want, in real time. It's just limited on my broker capabilities. That's the only thing. So that's my rant. But again, the horse and buggy people will say otherwise, which is fine because they will slowly, I think they'll instantly realize that they are being displaced. So I'm not saying don't go and finish off your PhD, do it, but you do it out of self-interest. And if you can, follow the self-employment route and use the AI to enhance those skills that you've picked up, because they're so critical to know, and be able to apply them in your own trading or focus on the trading for those lucrative AI portfolio manager jobs, because they pay in the millions of dollars. That's all I could say. Did you like studying functional analysis and measure? I think you meant, do you mean fundamental analysis? Very important. Technical analysis is important too. But the clear difference is as I said this before, technical analysis is what you use when you have open positions, okay? So those open positions is when you apply technical analysis. The fundamental is when you use to suss out what you can trade at that time. That's the fundamental. The quantitative is good, but you have to have a lot of data, specifically options data. You look at any job that pays really well, most likely in a firm will be probably 75% chance it will be options. Options in the CME market that's regulated. That's all I can say. And if you don't believe me, go out and look for those jobs and see what they trade. Most likely options. OM Oak, I'll just leave it at that. Hi, how are you? Welcome. Hello, good morning, sir. Thanks for joining. I know we're probably ahead. If you got questions, let me know. If you with 11797 analysis is my functional analysis from real analysis in math and measure theory. Yes, it's good, but as I said, you have to choose where you want to go. If you're doing it for career, yeah, easily. Lots of competition for those jobs. But if you're doing it out of self-interest, I would pursue it no matter what. I think education is very important, especially from universities. I can tell a difference between somebody who is not educated, trying to be an economist, and who is an economist and has been educated. I can tell the difference right away, out of the gate. You would rather follow somebody who's got the education, regardless of what they say about the state of schools or universities. It's the material you learn that's important. And being able to manage your time is probably the most important thing. And prioritize all the projects you'll go through, blah, 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 blah. That's what university really teaches you. Same with advanced college as well. So, OM Oak UniFX. I'm currently a Forex trader that has gotten his edge in the Forex space. Congrats. I hope whatever you're doing works out for you. I kind of trade it. The only one I'm seeing maybe is the dollar, but that's again the futures and options, as I've rattled on before in this YouTube session. Tell me more on what you're doing and your edge if you want to share. That's cool. If not, that's cool too. Oh, you did. How can I transit to full stack quant dev AL engineer without wasting much time in college? Well, if you're doing the sciences, the STEM stuff, science, technology, engineering, and math, that's not a waste of time in university. For sure, it's not. As I said earlier. Now, if you're trying to get into the quant space, you have to ask yourself, where do you want to go? You want to do quant research, quant coding, which is fine, but you'll be stalled in how far along you go. I'd still pursue what you're trying to do, but on the side, if you can, have time, focus on the trading. And with AI, you can get there faster. And as I said, I've got that thing in the link. You could try that out as well. If not, most people will just chase shiny toys. I can see it on the streams all the time. I'll get like 10, 20 people coming through the stream, look at it for 10 seconds and move on. That is a waste of time, to be honest. You have to pick what you want to focus on and not just look at it and theorize and dream about it. You got to act and actually start your coding and whatever else and actually doing and acting. Because otherwise you will kind of waste your time. And just, as I said, you'll be chasing after shiny toy and just spinning your wheels and going nowhere, really. Quant coding for building systems that execute in trades with lowest latency and secured backend. Hey man, I can't answer that in one answer in a live stream. All I can recommend is go out and find something you like, use AI if you have to, go to my website, go to my forum as I've talked about to pick up all that stuff. Because I can't answer that in this general stream. I'd like to, but if you want, just go to hftcode.com, go through the two products I have. That is a really good starting point because you've got a working code base and you can generate AI queries and prompts from it and go full out and not have to spend more than your $20, $40 for that. And you just spend the time experimenting with AI. Without that, you're just spinning your wheels. Now let me get into the scary mongering stuff. If you don't, a lot of people are getting unemployed right now because of AI. Your careers are pretty well done. You will be forced to figure out something pretty quick to get cash flow going. This stuff is possibly one of the very few out there. And everyone says, go into trades. Okay, you go into trades. So what? You go into a crowded space and you become a so-called electrician or whatever you do with a hammer. The problem is you're going to be in a race to nowhere, a race to the bottom, because you're going to have 100, 200 people following the same advice. I remember I hired electricians that couldn't get work other than government work, and they were part of a union as well. So they weren't making very much money because even though they were skilled, and that was during the last great financial recession in 2008. So really, this is one of the only options to move ahead as for cash flow. Okay, so if you're doom scrolling or you're just, as I said, chasing after shiny toy, not getting anywhere, believe me, the UBI stuff is going to be done. I think people are getting sick and tired of paying out 600,000 to 600,000 people on UBI in UK. Next government will cut that off. Then what happens to those folks? We don't know. Just don't be a useless eater. That's all I can tell you. Back to our questions, because I really understand the fact that I needed isn't taught in school, only fundamentals. Math and not financial math. As I said, you got to go AI, man. You have no choice. You have to know how to prompt, and you can't. Well, actually, you could do it with some low-cost LLMs, Chinese LLMs. DeepSeek, Quen's very good for it. But if you're looking for serious stuff, you have to go paid. You have to use more advanced models from Claude, Anthropic, and or OpenAI, especially on the codex level. Those are your unfortunate choices. What are the roadmaps and what are the resources you recommend to learn C++, Python, and Rust from scratch for HFT coding. Same answer, man. HFTcode.com is where you go. If the simplest, that's where I point people now. I can't teach people these roadmaps because that is the closest roadmap you'll get with working code and some tutorials in there to show you how to use the AI using Claude Code. That's the only options I can give you. And you can definitely use Claude Code 20, 50 bucks a month. If you're not willing to spend that, then I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you because that right in itself is a recipe for failure. You got to spend the money. I mean, I hate to say that. Unfortunately, that's just how it rolls. Hopefully, I'll answer your question. I hate being a person to be a doomer on this stuff. I've been through this many times, and I'd love to see people succeed in what they do. But there's no easy answers on it, and the only other real way to superpower your skill set and learn and generate what you want is via AI. Hand coding, I don't know. I just wish I could give you better answers for anyone else watching this. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate all that. Because I keep that stuff affordable, as I said, as well. Okay. And you got to choose one technology. Python's your best, even if you're kind of advanced in coding. And if you're starting with a tiny account, stick with Python. If you're wanting fancy dashboards that work pretty nice with Python, I'm finding great success with the JavaScript. I don't see the difference between JavaScript and Python, TypeScript at all in the era of AI. I really don't. As I said, I don't really hand code anymore. I just tell it and prompt it what I want. Oh, there's a bug. Then I use Haiku, let's say, in Claude, and it will debug it if it still persists, that same bug, to break that chain. The only way I've seen it is either you may have to pull out the big guns, as they call it, the Opus 4.7 or 4.6. There's no other options on it. I've seen it time and time again. You'll find a lot of people will go to GitHub and whatever and do whatever, may find some success. That is very temporary, unfortunately. But to consistently do well with it, you have to go full hog with what I'm trying to showcase in my YouTube channel and on my website. Okay, thank you very much. How can I reach out to you, at least if you can't teach directly? I do kind of teach. I got the courses, as I said before, with somebody else. Go to my website, quantlabsnet.com, and sign up to the front page. Fill out all that info, your email, your whatever else. You get a little ebook, yay. And I know who you are in the message. Put your user ID in there so I can help you. Okay, and the other place to go is to go through my forum on the same website, quantlabsnet.com. Go under the more and look for the groups. Join that group because I post a lot of really good information in the PDFs, the analysis. I just posted, I've said it, 3 times today. The info on the quant coding, the rules, the trigger rules that on 11 bots. And I did one on 45 algorithms. Like, how much more detail can I give you without needing to register? I don't know what more I can do. Everything comes down to you. If you're going to be like expecting people to hand feed you stuff or spoon feed you, that again, that's a recipe for disaster. If you don't like it, I hate to say, you may need to find another career path, because you got to put the work in. Unfortunately, there is no spoon feeding here. This doesn't work. It doesn't happen. I've seen it time and time again, as well. So Dirtiest Daniel LLC. Hi, how are you? Have you tried to make a bot that uses order flow data? Meaning order flow data. That's what I'm working on now. I've said before, I've got one. I'll be showcasing that in a long form video with the interactive brokers. That's all it's working on is order flow. So I don't know if you mean order flow by hot capital flow. I'm not sure what you mean. You have to be more specific for me to be precisely answer the question. But in terms of hot order flow capital, it's just another what I've been saying on this stream. Because everything's built around liquidity and volume. Okay, as I said, The only things I see that's worthy trading consistently and profitable consistently is either gold and or Ethereum and Bitcoin in certain situations, and what appears to be DXY or the dollar, only in the futures and options market. I would let the pros do the stocks and the ETFs. Tried it, been there. The only way I can see profit is just doing the typical buy and hold. Trying to beat it is very difficult. That's why only, 5% generate alpha, meaning they beat the market. Can't beat the market, just put money into the, well, you can't do it anymore anyways, into the SPY. Order flows such as delta, bid, ask, and balances. Yes, now you're talking my language. You mean options? Yes, I can do options. Right now, with the current setup of retail brokers, this is including Rhythmic, for futures and options and interactive brokers, unless you have a massive account, you're only going to be able to really work with order open, high, low, close. Bid and ask is kind of overkill. I've not been able to see any form of consistent profit with it, just because of the markets that are unpredictable due to President Trump's mind. Unless you know how his mind works, it's hard to succeed. I don't know if you've seen the yesterday's articles. He's live trading. He's live trading what comes out of his head. He'll put the trades on and then he'll announce it via his X or Truth Social. That came out. He had to declare that yesterday on Saturday. So that's the only way to successfully trade, if you know how he trades before the trades happen. Because the volatility is just too extreme, too negative on the drawdowns. It's really hard. Millions of people have dropped out of the retail trading space. So what more can I tell you? But the bid and ask is good, but I just don't see it. Open, high, close works. I'm still experimenting on a time frame for all this stuff. But it's the right direction, but it's hard to say. I think you really got to understand about two major things when it comes to portfolio analysis. You have to understand your max drawdown, obviously the lower the better, and your risk reward or profit factor. The only ones doing that right now, as I said, since the end of February, since this war started, consistent profitability is gold, yes, and some Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just depends. It's hard to say. Silver's not working, the equity space is not working, energy is not working, agriculture is not working. But agriculture is interesting. If what they're predicting on this so-called food shortage coming in the fall, I've also seen already some reports on that through my AI via the news. So that may be interesting to watch. But profit consistently, I can't say. But right now, the only ones I'm seeing is gold and this Ethereum Bitcoin spread trade. But that doesn't make a lot of money anyways. But I'm hoping to see some good consistency with DXY, dollar again, and the maybe euro. I don't know. You guys got questions or comments? Let me know. Good questions tonight. I appreciate it. I'm just probably, with some of the negative answers I'm giving, I'm probably chasing away people. I gotta be real, man. I have to tell people the truth. I don't want to sit here telling lies like a lot of these so-called other gurus just to suck money out of you and extract money out of you. You try the product and it's nothing but failure. I can guarantee you a high probability of that. I could be wrong, but hey, if you want to consistently be profitable, so far that's what I'm seeing. Anybody else got questions or comments? I appreciate all that. 30th Daniel LLC, gotta like that name. Anybody else? I hope I'm not scaring away people. Yeah, 1179.7 OMD blah 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 blah. Oh, new person, I think. Mohammed Del Gatan. Put your eyes on CL. I've been trying that. Too volatile. More losses than what it's worth. But I've had some success with RB, which is the gas. That's been better. Natural gas, no. But CL, no. Not seeing any success with that so far. Thoughts on changing the PD rule? If they're removing it, that's what I've read. It's good. But I think what they're hoping for, my little conspiracy hat, silver hat says, or my little tinfoil hat says, I think they know a lot of people are going to go into trading to try to make a go of it. So, hey, let's make it available for them and no $25,000 pattern day trading rule where you need that 25,000 to do the automated trading. I think they may be doing this so more people lose money. I think that's one of the reasons why they're doing it. I don't know, call me a fool, but I got my opinions, but I don't think it's for good reasons, let me tell you that. Also, the best way to trade, you don't want to go in and try to make billions of dollars overnight or over a few days. You have to keep it steady Eddie and look for your consistent high win ratios. I have 4 of them, but the only one that's making real money because of volume is gold. That's all I can say. I hate saying it, but that's all I'm seeing. Same person, it's will be massacre for newbies, but it's considered a positive thing for the market in general. Yeah, it's great for the trading shops that love it because, as you know, we have the smart money, and we'll just say not smart money. What we're talking about with this PDD thing is it's the not smart money. So there's going to be more of them. Robinhood makes lots of more money because they're selling the order flow back to the smart money operators. So those are the ones that are going to be making a boatload. Unfortunately, a lot of the BP non-smart money folks that think they'll make oodles of money, no. Unfortunately, the ones that will make money are the insiders, the smart money, or the Robinhoods. No, it's not smart. What are your opinions on futures trading prop firms? Ooh, I'm not good, and that's from 30th Daniel. I don't like them. I'm not going to mention them by names. I've done quite a few articles on them already. Don't mention my name, obviously for legal purposes, but I just don't like them. Just do a search on the popular ones on a prop firm and just add in that name and put in payout on YouTube. See what happens. See what it says. You'll see someone going through class action lawsuits because they don't pay out. Even though you're legitimately so-called profiting, it's a one-way casino. The house always wins. Even though legally you're winning, I just don't like them, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of them are going through class action lawsuits. They're not being regulated as they should be. I'd avoid them. It's the same with, it's like private equity. You could put money into, and look at what's happening with private equity and a lot of this private credit. You put money into something, including BlackRock, and it's gatekept, and now they lose. Now you can only take out 5% every quarter, and it's dropping and dropping and dropping. You will lose money. It's like a casino. Do not do it. And also, do not put money into Polymarket. That's another scam. This is what I've been saying. People think the easy way by watching something because you get a green arrow and a red arrow when to buy and sell. Interactive Brokers does the same thing. And once upon a time, Binance, all of them were involved in this. It doesn't work. The regulator's going to step in and get rid of it. And meanwhile, and why will they step in? Because so many people will lose so much money. That's why I come back and say you got to learn this, learn it on your own, and act and only depend upon the raw data. Nothing else, unfortunately. So our OMO, I got that all wrong. I registered on the Quant Lab. Can I reach out there on the Discord? Do not go to Discord. That's why I pushed the group. I'll put that at the top so it goes to my group. Unfortunately, Discord has been nothing but spammers and scammers on my group. So I've stopped Discord. That's typical, right? Same with Telegram. So I only put out stuff on my own website and that I can control who comes in, and it's honest people. That's all I can say. I want to get rid of all these scammers. It's really bad. So just go under more on the website and then go look for groups, and you'll see the group you can join. And you just go through all that group and you'll be able to see all the stuff I post on there. More people. Yay. Pius Drone X, welcome. Please do you use Strategy Quant. I don't know what strategy Quant. I don't really use Quant anymore. I don't think quants use Quant unless you're a firm. Retail traders don't really use Quant. They think they do, but they don't. Even though I'm calling it Quant Labs, I mean, I do like Quant. I'm not going to lie, but if you get my latest PDF, I do show what indicators I use. I just posted that yesterday. Okay, so most videos just they want to get views. Yeah, a lot of clickbait stuff out there. I don't mind being small. I don't really care, to be honest. I could grow if I promised the world and driving around in Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis. Oh, I'm sure I get lots of views, but I'm not about that, to be honest. Mohammed El Dagadan, welcome. I will add something to your advice. Master one ticker, preferably indexed, and build your system. Man, you missed a lot. I ain't going to repeat it. Sorry. You can watch this video once it gets rendered after I end it. I've talked about that all for the last hour and a half. Okay, sir, can you quickly pin the group now so I can join the personal group? As I said, just go to Quant. I should do that in this description, but just go to quantlabsnet.com and look at the far right, look for more, and just go into the groups and you'll find it. You got it. Mua Sulaman, thank you for saying I'm smart. Pius Dronex, I love your videos. I'm from Ghana. Hey, that's great. We got lots of people from Africa and South America. It's awesome. And that's one of the things I like about futures as well. They don't restrict where you're from. As long as you got the cool hard cash to fund an account, you're good to go. So you can do it as low as $1,500 US. For some, that might be a lot. I do like crypto because you could do it as low as $20, but to do it legitimately and to do the real trading without being scammed, I like my futures and options. I wish I could give, and also you can do interactive brokers and get data for $500 in futures and options data. I'll showcase that in my next video, long form video on that. So I'm hoping to get that done fairly soon. That's a big one. That's a big job. It's been a week on that with AI, including Opus 4.7. That's a very expensive app to develop once I showcase that. You guys got any other questions or comments? When is your next video, sir? I can't predict anything like this. I'm hoping in the next day or so. The only last thing I do is just test live orders with it, and that's for options and future. Sorry, just futures only. That's the only thing I got to show. Once I show that, then I know the thing's ready to go, and I'll make a video on it. But I need to highlight for people, I will not release this code because I don't want to be in the business of playing support for people. I believe that here's some starting points you can use, especially in the world of AI now, that you're able to generate what you want by knowing how to prompt with the things I've already mentioned on hftcode.com. I know I'm pitching here my own thing, but it's purposely designed for that and purposely kept to be affordable for people. That's why I'm doing that. Hopefully people appreciate that. But I appreciate people liking what I'm doing so far, because we're here back on YouTube live streaming, not Zoom. But I would encourage people to go onto the quantlabsnet.com website, opt in with their email, and then look at the forum that I have. What AI models do you use for developing your EAs? First of all, I don't do EAs, expert advisors. No, that's MQL garbage, sorry to say. MetaTrader. No, I don't do any of that. But I do develop strategies and bots, yes. I've already gone through the workflow of it. As I said, generate news, generate a PDF, and you can use AI to generate your trading bots from that in a 30-second elevator pitch. But that's how I do it. The AI is so sophisticated now, it can be done, but you got to use a very advanced and probably pricey AI to do that. Please, thank you. Thank you very much. No problem. Pius Dronex. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. All I could tell you is AI is here. I've given people a starting point to work from. I can't hand stuff out because it doesn't make things valuable. I think part of the thing that most people should figure out. If you're going to go in trying to do all this for free, it's like your boss asking you, going, "Hey, dude, you want to keep your job? You're going to have to do it all for free." You'd say no. So that's why I don't give stuff away for free. But I'm trying to keep it affordable as long as I can. So there's that. And I think people will need to act, because once I get these bots running with live money, and hopefully I can generate alpha from it, I get a third party verify, I can guarantee you everything goes up. Just so you know. And the retail trader, I hate. Well, you won't be able to afford what I'm doing, unfortunately. So act now while you can. Unfortunately. Anything else? Any questions or comments? Let me know. Pius, Drone X, it's kind of confusing, and I'm 22 years old at the university. So what advice do you give me if I want to start algo trading? Again, I keep saying, go to my hftcode.com website. I've got a few products in there. I got a free PDF that you can download for market making and Bitcoin. I've got 2 other products you can start from. They're very cheap. That's all I can say. That's why I create all this stuff as a starting point if you want to follow with what I'm doing. Because when you see these advanced, no problem, Pius Drone X. Yeah, because people don't like that answer. Now, if you're not willing to spend a little bit of money, I can't help you. I really can't. And personally, I don't want to help you, because then you're going to want me, as I keep saying, to spoon feed you. Spoon feed you. You're not going to act. You're just going to follow. I don't operate that way. Here's what I'm doing right now. I want people to understand this and clearly understand my next stages or steps. Right now, we've got, hopefully tonight I'll be able to do these live orders with interactive brokers. I've already tested with what I've got in Rhythmic, works great. Now I'm going to do it with interactive brokers. Now I'm focusing and prioritizing currently right now with interactive brokers for one very specific reason: to get these things recorded and be able to showcase the trading in real time. Okay? It's not for my ego, losses or not, it doesn't matter. People get value from seeing things, why it loses, and explanations on why. Okay? There's a lot more value to that, I find. But if I can get this, and you're hearing, I'm not guaranteeing it will be profitable, but if it becomes profitable, and it hopefully will generate alpha, meaning beating the markets like a metric like S&P 500, I can guarantee you right today that what I'm doing is not going to be my focus. Okay, all the people in my forum and then my clientele, great, they stay where they are and they're in there permanently. But as I said, my next steps right now are focusing on high net worth firms, family offices, all of them. You may joke, I can tell you right now, these firms are paying $50,000 to $100,000 for what I'm doing once it's validated and confirmed. Do not stop to think that I'm a nut job not to focus on that. I'm not a nut job, because if I get there, I'm going to do it. And then my question is, right now, today, all the people that want what I do, that's good, but jump on it while you can, because if I get to that point where I'm focusing on firms, I will not be able to go out in public and talk about all this stuff, because part of the thing that I'll be focusing on is to keep everything confidential. Again, Pius, I've already started, man. hftcode.com. I've got PDFs in there, products. I can't help you beyond that. I wish I could give you better answers. Again, but that's my focus right now, is to work on these firms, big ones. And I've got a few of them already that are paying members, directors and the like. And there's that. And there's a ton of them out there. So there's that. The other thing I need to mention is, if we have people that ask the questions, give them the answers, and they don't follow through and act on it, I can't help them. And as I said, we're at a point now, either you do or you die, basically. You do, you act, and you profit, or you'll be left behind, because the AI is either pretty well eliminated your career path. And as I said, even in the quant space, in the quant trading space, Ken Griffin, as of yesterday, whenever that video came out, he's confirmed that the PhD quants and all these coders, done. because the founder of Citadel has said so. This is what we need to come to reality with. So we are at that point where it's do or die. I hate saying it. It's being negative, I know. I'm not here to put out free candy for people on YouTube. I'm trying to educate people and give pathways for people that's affordable. And beyond that, I cannot go beyond. If you become like a paying customer and you have questions, I'll help you. Beyond that, I can't teach people on YouTube streams. Can't be done. And even if it can be done, those people are gonna, as I said, scam you. Other than that, who else got questions? I can tell all the people that ask questions don't like the answers. They drop off. Good luck to them. That's all I can say. Who's got questions or comments? I'm already coming up to 1 hour and 40 minutes. Anybody else got questions or comments? If not, don't mind me. I'll gladly drop off and focus on this Interactive Brokers web app, so I can get that kind of done and put it in a long form video. Once I'm confident with that, I'll be doing a whole slew of new videos to bring everything up to date, knowing that I have these paths done as well. As I said, I'll be doing a second YouTube channel on investing and pretty well specific on strategy development. So I will do that. I really appreciate it, even though I joined late. No problem. Pius, if you join late, as I said, on YouTube, you can always watch these videos again once it's rendered and available on YouTube, outside of the stream. And I've got thousands upon thousands of videos on YouTube alone as well. So there's that. Who else is out there has got a question or comment? Because like my last step, I will tell you, I will be focused on this Interactive Brokers web app with hopefully live trading, right? I don't want to say when, but I want to rather say when and say, yes, here it is, watch it go. But I'm close. I think I'm in the last step. There you go. Anybody else got any questions or comments? I'll do my usual going once, twice, 3 times, and we'll close it out. Don't have to apologize if you join late. You can come and go however you want. It's your life. But I will be resuming my shorts hopefully tonight or maybe tomorrow. I don't know, based on this stream. Who else got questions or comments? Very good questions tonight. I do realize a lot of people are new and want to learn. That's why I created that hftcode.com website to get you started on a very small entry price level. As I said, why earlier. Beyond that, it's up to you. As I said, with all things, we're down to 1 person, yay. You know what? I'll do a going once 3 times. If not, I'll give her a wrap. But if you watch, thanks for watching. I go in once. Got a question or comment? Type her up. I go in twice. Going 2.5. Okay, going 3 times. We're done. Thank you for watching. Hopefully on my next video, I'll showcase that Interactive Brokers and potentially live trading. Wouldn't that be exciting for once? Being able to say that with futures and options. And we'll leave it at that. Thanks again for watching. Have yourselves a good day wherever you are, and we shall talk to you later. Bye-bye.